Now.
3, 2.
Welcome to DBL. It is Friday.
It is Friday.
I did it with her. I tried. I'm Tori here with the beautiful Erica, and Brandon joins us from home with the good big chop. I love the hair, man.
Look at you.
Right?
Thank you. Thank you. Erica, I know you were talking about how the hair was going to give me power and you know, it was going to put me in great moods and I can manifest things, but it's too hot here in Virginia, Erica. I had to chop this thing off.
I'm not mad at you. The good part is you can pull off either look.
Totally
so that's the positive.
Thank you.
And he's a little bit faster now.
Thank
He's more aerodynamic. That's exactly right. All right, we begin with this big question that a lot of you have been writing us in. Is it just time to shut down America again? So yesterday was another record-breaking day for new cases of coronavirus. According to the New York Times, at least 6 states broke single-day records, including Texas. And more patients died in Florida yesterday, 120 people, than any other day before. Meantime, Dr. Fauci is not happy. I mean, not happy with how we're doing. Here's what he told 538 yesterday.
As a country, when you compare us to other countries, I don't think you can say we're doing great. I mean, we're just not. I think you'd have to make the assumption that if there wasn't such divisiveness, that we would have a more coordinated approach.
Isn't that a good 2 words, coordinated approach? And despite Florida being a major hotspot, Walt Disney World will begin its phased reopening tomorrow. They are taking several precautions, including limiting attendance, taking temperatures, and requiring face coverings. I saw a lot of people, Erica, talking about this, and as they were talking about how to reopen, they were over Zoom. And I'm like, if you're discussing over Zoom how to reopen, maybe you shouldn't reopen because it's scary enough to get in there. How do you feel? Do you think we need to shut down again?
You know, I think we're going to get to a point where we're not going to have a choice.
Yeah.
The fact that Dr. Fauci said that the divisiveness is contributing to the spread, I 100% believe in that. I mean, there's an old saying, united we stand, divided we fall. And what we've had are state to state, county to county, everyone's making their decisions. As individuals, we're all making our own decisions, and a lot of us are making them very selfishly. I think it's very telling that countries have not reopened their borders to America. Mexico has decided to close their borders to America, which is just true dramatic irony in its finest, and I can appreciate that so much. So I think there's going to come a point where Americans aren't going to have any place to go outside of this country because we are going to get branded as the dirty coronavirus Americans.
Which is so ironic, and someone just wrote in, Brahmini Ravi, I feel like we are doing the worst of them all. Japan is doing great because they're used to wearing masks. In Asian culture, that's much more normalized, Brandon. Are you thinking Disney, not a great idea to reopen?
I think it's a terrible idea. And to go back to what Erica was saying, like, I'm waiting for Mexico to come out and say, build that wall, you know, to keep us out of there almost. But what I would like to see, and a lot of other people I feel like will want to see, Tori and Erica, is some sort of transparency when it comes to this testing. Because I got tested last week, and I still have yet to get my results back. We're talking 7 days. So I would like Fauci or the CDC to allow the media to come in and to do it from when they put that swab up your nose. They follow that swab all the way to the CDC labs, all the way to the virologists and the people who are testing that sample to when that positive or that negative test goes back to that person. I think if we have that transparency, it eliminates some of that uncertainty that we're having right now.
I think we just need multiple testing. If we ever really want to reopen this country again, we're going to have to be able to test all the time, a lot of people every day, so
Absolutely.
that we see. So transparency, tracing, and testing is the 3 T's. Well, we're moving on to this, which I'm sure a lot of you are following. Authorities searching for actress Naya Rivera have released new video. Let me take you through this. This is the surveillance footage, and it shows Rivera and her 4-year-old son Josie arriving at Lake Piru in Southern California. It confirms that they were the only 2 on the boat before her disappearance. And as of our taping today, again, we're being transparent here, Rivera is still missing, and the search for her is now being called a, quote, recovery operation. Rivera's son, Josie, as I said, is safe with his father, Ryan Dorsey, shown here in this exclusive photo from DailyMail.com. Do you think we'll ever know what happened to Naya, Erica? I say that with pain in my heart.
Yeah, I certainly hope that we find out what happened to her for her family's sake.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to understand that this is a 4-year-old child who, during his most formative years, has memories of his mother being in a body of water and never resurfacing. I just want people to lead with compassion and empathy, because although she was a celebrity, like, celebrities are human beings.
Absolutely.
And they are mothers and daughters, and she was someone's sister. And I think that it's really important that we talk about her as a human being, and this is just a tragedy in its entirety.
And from what I've seen from Instagram, she was a proud mother. I mean, she loved that son like nothing else. The last Instagram post was just the two of us, a picture of them. You're a girl uncle. You're an uncle. I mean, this is heartbreaking, right, Brandon?
Absolutely. I mean, when I'm with my nieces and my nephews, and I'm taking them out somewhere, or we're going to the outlets to take them shopping, or we're going to the park to go hang out, never does it cross my mind that something could happen to us at that time. And it really hurts me to see that video, because it's like those are the moments leading up to her death. I hope it's not her death, but those are the moments. And it's just like, in a time like this, it's just letting people know, live your life, like, be happy, because you never know when it's your time to go. And it's just looking at that picture right there with her holding on to her son. It's just absolutely heartbreaking.
I know. A lot of you are writing in, please find Naya, please. Someone wrote in, how did the son get back but not Naya? All we know is the 4-year-old has said they were swimming, but mommy didn't return to the boat. We don't know more details, but we'll keep you abreast of this story for sure. It's on the top of our list. Let's go to some football and get some Brandon's action on this. There's a lot of talk about the return of NFL football this fall and what safety protocols are needed. So one thing that's getting a ton of attention is the possibility that players would be required to wear face shields. But one player, Houston Texans star J.J. Watt, is saying no way. He told Pro Football Talk he wouldn't be on the field if they're required. Brandon, talk to me as a former NFLer. Talk to me about the face shield. Is that reasonable that he said that?
Okay, when he said that he had put one on, a visor, and not the full shield, because the NFL is talking about covering the face, not the entire face, so players aren't breathing on each other. And when he said that he went out to practice and he couldn't last three periods of practice, which is around like 30 minutes, because you're breathing hard if you're not acclimated to it. So we have a saying, you train to practice, you practice to play. That's why you see a lot of these players like Russell Wilson, Antonio Brown, right now where they're working out, they work out with their helmets on, because that's how you're going to practice. So when it comes to J.J. Watt, who is considered as the ultimate American patriot when you think of the NFL, I mean, look at the money he raised, over $40 million for Hurricane Harvey. He's come out and spoken out how the kneeling isn't disrespectful to the military. I need him on the forefront on this one, because look at the discussion we're having right now when it comes to American citizens, the inconvenience of wearing a mask. So I equate that with him. If I feel as though if he comes out and he says, you know what, it's going to be inconvenient, but it's going to save the lives of some of my players, my teammates, and some of my brethren, I think that if he comes out and he's like, you know what, I'll bear that inconvenience. I think you American citizens should do the same thing when it comes to wearing a mask. I think if he comes out, I think a lot of people get behind him. So I hope J.J. Watt rethinks that, comes out, wears the mask, and really puts himself out there wearing that mask so people can see that.
That's great. And it's great to hear from you too, that from someone who's been in the field. We should say, JJ, what are you doing? You should teach people. Did everyone get that? Thanks. We got to move. Chris is doing this.
Yeah.
All right, we've got a couple of new viral videos we want to share with you. Up first, meeting Prince Charles proved to be a little much for this grocery store worker. Oh no, the man is starting to sway. Oh no, before he totally, oh no, collapses. Oh no. He just fainted. He was able to recover and resume his convo with the prince. It's hot, and you're standing there for a long, long time. Erica, should the prince have caught him?
I would have liked to have seen some type of attempt, but there's also another man that's standing there.
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't apparent that he was going to pass out, but you would have thought that there would be some kind of lurching action.
Lurch, you know. But then there is COVID, so you know, Prince Charles does this a lot to protect. So he was in a bit of a pickle. He was in a pickle.
Yeah, but I think that your humanity steps in at a certain point and at least pretend, you know, like when you're pretending like you're going to hold
the elevator.
But you really don't want anybody else in the elevator.
Right, I did everything I could. All right, a pair of adorable toddlers, one black and one white, who are super famous for their viral video. You know, the one where they run to meet each other and hug. Well, they're at it again. Meet Maxwell and Finnegan, and they're continuing their epic friendship, walking down the street hand in hand, and of course, they're both wearing masks. If this isn't a clue that we can all do it, I don't know what else is. These two put such a smile on my face, Erica, and when they run to each other, it's like hope.
Maxwell and Finnegan should be the picture or the poster children for the all-American image.
Yes.
Okay? They do everything right.
They wear the masks.
You know, race doesn't matter, where they're from doesn't matter. They're COVID friendly with their masks. They're doing all the things that we should really be thinking about when we're, you know, just in interpersonal relationships in society.
I agree. It's the new modern Norman Rockwell of how we should be. Brandon, how do you feel real quick when you see this? Does your heart swell?
They're kids. Show me when they're 21 and they're going after the same girl or boy.
Oh my
Show me
God.
if they still have that love and camaraderie.
Okay, one ticket to
They're
Bummertown.
kids.
Yeah, thank you.
We're good with
for
you
killing
over
that feel-good moment.
Yeah, wow, crash and burn. Coming up on DBL, Jessica Simpson turns 40 and never looked better. Wait till you find out how old those genes are. We mean her denim genes, not her genetics. Good.
Pets are family, and we know it. So rely on the experts at 1-800-PET-MEDS for the exact same medications as the vet.
Welcome back to DBL. We want to give a big happy birthday to Jessica Simpson. The mom of 3 turns 40 today. She marked the milestone birthday by posting a selfie wearing her True Religion jeans, remember those, from 14 years ago that she says she's kept in her closet all this time. Last month, Jessica also posted this pic in a bikini writing, "Yeehaw!" That was terrible, Tori. To my final days in my 30s. So, do you have any clothes in your closets from your 20s, and would they fit? Erica, I know they'd fit you now.
No.
Why?
I do not keep anything.
Oh, you don't keep it?
I do not keep anything.
You get rid of it.
I used to keep it, but then I also realized that by keeping some of those items, I was equating some degree of value as to what I was before. And the truth is, as I got older, my body became far more of something that I wanted it to be than when I was younger, although I was thinner. I had smaller clothing sizes when I was younger. But you know, when you start doing squats, some things start to happen.
Things change.
Some
I've been
good
doing
things happen.
Things augment. They sure do. I have my engagement dress I want to wear again because it looked good on me and I can't fit in it. During the COVID, I put on some weight due to wine. I'm drinking a lot of wine. I've just got to realize that the end of COVID isn't at the end of a bottle of wine.
Well, you know, first of all, we don't know if your drinking wine consumption is helping or hurting it. So
True.
let's not jump to conclusions.
Thank you.
And secondly, I think that you should just love your body as you are.
I do. And I work out with a friend over Zoom twice a week, and it's really, really great. Brandon, do guys do this? Do you do this? Do you have a pair of cool True Religions that you want, or an Ed, what were they called? Ed Hardy shirt?
Ooh, Ed Hardy. Ooh, wow. No, but I do have a pair of my UMass football shorts from my, I guess, freshman, sophomore year that I still wear to this day. But the first suit that I purchased when I got to the NFL, I can't fit those pants, not because they're too small, but remember, that was back in the day when the suit pants were huge.
Oh, yeah.
So they're like hammer pants on me then, they're hammer pants on me now.
Those are too much. I was like, I look awesome. You can't see that I have legs. All right, coming up on DBL, a former pro football player turned pastor gives us hope for a racially divided nation. Why Miles McPherson's message is resonating so very strongly. Right now, stay tuned.
Welcome back to DBL. His comeback story is incredible. He's a former NFL football player who overcame addiction, and now he's doing God's work. Pastor Miles McPherson spoke with Lindsay earlier to discuss how we can bridge the racial divide in America. That's today's DBL Spotlight.
Pastor Miles McPherson, welcome to DBL.
My pleasure. How you doing today?
I'm doing okay, but I want to ask you, with the ongoing protests, people are scared and hurting and looking for answers. What do you suggest that we all do?
You know, I come from the world of football, and when you walk into a locker room, you have guys from all over the country with all kind of different beliefs and cultures, but we have one common enemy and one common goal. We're all united on those things. And so if we can focus on the things we have in common as people, as humans, we can get along a lot better.
Now, I want to talk about your book, The Third Option, Hope for a Racially Divided Nation. Did you sense that we were headed towards this type of unrest with another Black death?
Our country's been divided ever since I was born. For hundreds of years, we've been battling racial division. Martin Luther King was killed. I was 8 years old. My family, generations before me, have been dealing with racism all our lives, so it wasn't anything new. And at the time, I remember when I was writing the book, something else would happen. It just kept getting worse and worse and worse. We have to step back and ask ourselves, do we value each other as human? One of the definitions of racism that you can use is when you view someone as less human than you. We always find a reason to say you are less than me. We got to get out of this us versus them, because if it's us versus them, I'm going to have a contractual relationship with you. You did this to me, so now I got to do this to you, versus saying, you're human, I'm human. We both are more similar than different. Let me invest in and lean into investing in building up your humanity. You build up mine, and that will solve a lot of the problems we're dealing with.
I want to ask you, because your dad was in law enforcement and your son is currently in law enforcement, how was it for them to be Black men as police officers?
My dad was a police officer in New York City for over 30 years, and part of what he did, he was a patrolman, then he became a detective, then he became in internal affairs where he was arresting cops. Here he is, a cop arresting cops, and he's dealing with racism at the same time. You know, police officers are people just like everybody else. They make mistakes and then they do good things. So I sympathize with the good cops that are trying to do a good job, and of course the bad cops, they have to go.
What do you think needs to be done when it comes to police reform?
When I watch some of the things going on, I always think about how much the law has made love illegal. When you stop somebody or you encounter somebody, they have their legal requirements, steps they got to go through. But sometimes that can look past the fact that we're dealing with a human being that's in a bad spot. How can we insert love and compassion back into caring for people? When someone says police reform, it's not necessarily get rid of a police, at least in my opinion. It's more of how do we reform how we deal with crime, or people who are in a bad spot, people who are just, you know, having a bad day. As a pastor, I think about how to insert compassion, love, and patience into it. And I also know that it's difficult when they have to, you know, when they're dealing with people who can kill them. So that it's a double-edged sword. Thank you so much for joining us, Pastor McPherson. God bless you. Your book, The Third Option, Hope for a Racially Divided Nation, is available at milesmcpherson.com. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by...
If your credit card debt is out of control,
Welcome back to DBL. Hot car deaths are unfortunately all too common this time of year. So a 12-year-old girl, love this, decided to take matters into her own hands. And we're chatting about it in today's DBL Drive, sponsored by who, y'all?
Car Shield.
Okay, yes. Lydia Denton saw some news reports of babies left in hot cars. So she created this pressure pad system that monitors the temperature on the car seat. If it gets above 102 degrees, it sets off an alarm and it sends a text to the parent's phone and 911. She won the National Fueling Education Student Challenge and $20,000. When it comes to your car, for peace of mind, get an auto protection plan with CarShield. CarShield protects their members from the high cost of auto repairs. Call 1-800-505-9619 for a free quote. What is this most dangerous thing in the world? A girl who has an education. She will make it happen. That's beautiful.
Yeah, I'm so impressed by her, but I don't want to parent shame. I'm not a parent. But what are the circumstances that we leaving babies in cars?
A lot of the times people say if it's a routine change for them, which is true. A lot of people have this. But if they don't usually have the kid and they have to take it one day, sometimes they'll just completely forget. It is a psychological thing where they just like have a routine and they don't remember. I know. It's a little confusing. But it happens. And good for this girl.
Yeah,
right?
good for her.
Bravo. DBL, we are new every day. Have a wonderful weekend. Be safe. We'll see you Monday. Bye, guys.